My friends, this is a great time to become a channel member. Every week now I'm posting uncensored videos exclusively for my channel members, along with custom emojis and live streams for members at the Arch-Villain level where you get to talk to me directly. Please consider supporting this channel by clicking the link in the video description and joining us in our fight to save pop culture. And also, check out our Patreon and Subscribe-Star pages for exclusive content you won't find anywhere else, including Harvey Cthulhu's insane podcasts, photos of my vast toy collection, and members at the Legionnaire level receive a signed photo, membership card, and certificate signed by me. You'll find the Patreon link in the video description as well. Thanks for watching, my friends, and now, on to the video. Greetings, my friends. I am Dicta Van Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth, broadcasting from my hidden base at the center of the Earth, and I am here today to discuss the demise of Hollywood, as exposed in a recent article in the Wall Street Journal, where they actually compare the show business economy in LA to a disaster movie. In a moment, I'm going to share some staggering figures gathered by the Wall Street Journal that indicate Hollywood is in a state of crisis. But what exactly caused the crisis? There have been a number of factors that have contributed to the demise of Hollywood. There's little doubt about that. Union strikes resulting in periods of inactivity. COVID hurt everyone, including Tinseltown. Streaming has been a major trend whose long-term impact won't be understood until some point way farther down the line. But it does seem at this point that streaming is looking like a massive gamble that Hollywood lost. All these things are true, but the net result is clear. Hollywood is suffering a catastrophic decline in profits and number of productions, and in a very real sense, what we may be seeing here is the death throes of the film industry as we know it.
Yeah, this article you're talking about was really disturbing when you think about how this catastrophe is hurting not the big producers, but the crew members who live from production to production. This is really hurting a lot of below-the-line workers who, as always, are feeling the pinch the worst.
Indeed, Harvey Cthulhu. These folks who work behind the scenes, even a lot of the creatives in the industry, live from project to project. And the problem is, the projects are drying up. Yes, this is hurting the big studios and damaging Hollywood as a whole. And the real question is there blame to be assigned here? Though there's no question that a lot of the things hurting Hollywood are beyond their control, the answer to that question is clearly yes. The blame falls squarely on Hollywood studio executives who know all of these figures, but do they do anything to help the situation? Too many times, these executives setting the priorities and making the big decisions actually make things worse. Look, if Hollywood is in decline, if there are few productions making less money, if you're sane and care about the prosperity of your employees, you don't double down on woke bullshit, driving more and more audience members away by insulting them. You roll up your sleeves, hire great writers, ditch the identity politics, and do your level best to make damn sure you make the most entertaining films and shows you possibly can. You don't make Snow woke. You don't corrupt Star Trek. You don't insult half of your potential audience with political diatribes. You try to make the next Top Gun, the next Die Hard, the next mainstream smash hit that makes people enthused to go to movies again. And yet, even in the face of all this economic devastation, they persist in their ludicrous DEI crap, and it's the working people, the crew members, the animators, who are being hit hardest by the demise of the Hollywood dream. Let's take a look at some of the details, folks. The Wall Street Journal published an article titled, LA's Entertainment Economy is Looking Like a Disaster Movie. And in this article, they lay out some startling figures. Quote, at the end of 2024, some 100,000 people were employed in the motion picture industry in Los Angeles County, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. 2 years earlier, there were 142,000. The primary reason is that Hollywood is making less stuff. The film business has yet to rebound from the shutdown of theaters during the pandemic. TV production was booming in the 2010s and early 2020s as companies tried to jumpstart streaming services, but in 2022, investors saw streaming growth was slowing and decided what actually matters is profitability. Entertainment companies, which plan productions many months in advance, cut spending dramatically when the strikes ended the following year. Nearly 30% fewer movies and TV shows with budgets of at least $40 million began shooting in the US in 2024 than in 2022, according to data firm ProdPro. The first 3 quarters of this year were down another 13%. The situation is particularly dire in Los Angeles because of the region's high costs and a state production tax credit that, until recently, lagged behind what competitors like Georgia and British Columbia were offering. Studios make most of their content far from their corporate offices. Last year, there was less production activity in the Los Angeles area than at any time since at least 1995, save for the pandemic, according to the nonprofit group Film LA. Hollywood has endured downturns before, but rarely this sudden and severe. Some industry analysts believe consumers might be pivoting permanently from professionally made content to the endless buffet of YouTube and social media. Any rebound in production activity would take at least a few years and possibly many more, and a full recovery might never happen if generative artificial intelligence makes animation and visual effects jobs obsolete, as many workers fear. Meanwhile, thousands of dreams built around working in the movie and TV business are evaporating. Unquote.
Holy shit, Doomcock! This is insane! According to those stats, the number of productions has dropped by a third. A third less projects, even with all the various streaming services. Think of the competition for jobs and the high cost of living in Mordor. Hollywood.
Pity the poor workers, stuck in a trap most of them didn't make. Hollywood went all in on streaming, but that business model is a death trap. There's no accountability, no reward for big hit shows, no penalty for flops. Used to be a hit show got a ton more advertising dollars. There were economic rewards for hits. And yet, now the metric for success is, does a show bring in more subscribers? And for the most part, the answer is nothing brings in more subscribers. Nothing. Because people are subscribed out. And if someone isn't subscribed to your service, chances are nothing you do is going to significantly move that needle. It stays more or less steady. So all you're doing is not growing the service, you're just grinding out new content, desperately trying to maintain the subscribers you've got, and that is not any recipe for excellence. And as for movie ticket sales, that's the one thing you could still impact if you hadn't alienated so many viewers with substandard slapdash scripts, uncomfortable and unwelcome social engineering propaganda stuck right into stories, and direct insults to half of the country based on their politics. This Hollywood apocalypse is not their fault to some extent, but instead of rallying in a time of crisis, dropping the agenda and putting their best efforts forward to help themselves and the people that rely on them for their livelihoods, Hollywood has doubled down on all the crap driving people away, and that's why show business at this point so strongly resembles a disaster movie. In my thumbnail, I said that Hollywood is on the verge of total collapse. And to understand what I mean, consider how important bees are to our ecosystem. Scientists agree that if bees vanished, the ecological and economic impact would be devastating to the globe. In the same way, big shot producers and studio heads may not be feeling the economic pinch now, but in the Hollywood ecosystem, if the people responsible for actually doing the work can no longer afford to work in the industry will collapse. You can bring in new workers, sure, but they won't have the skills and experience. It'll drive costs up. Failure follows failure. They leave too. And clearly, what we're seeing here is an existential threat to Hollywood unfolding before our very eyes. And many other factors will only make it worse. I think, if anything, AI is only going to accelerate this collapse. And I think what we are seeing here, my friends, is nothing less than the death throes of the status quo. I've often said it before, The AI revolution is going to have as huge an impact on the world as the Industrial Revolution did. This is a turning point in history. All the cards are going to get thrown up in the air, and God only knows where they will land. From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, stay angry.
Ha 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 ha.